Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're digging into the news from Sunday, May 4th, 2025. We've got headlines covering, well, pretty much everything: global politics, international issues, U.S. stuff, economy, even sports. What really jumped out at me was just how many significant things were happening all at once. Seemingly unrelated, but maybe not. Let's jump right in.
Absolutely. It's a really interesting mix for just one day. Shows how connected things are. So starting maybe down under Australia, Anthony Albanese's Labour Party, they won pretty decisively.
Right, and the big thing there is he's the first PM to get a second term since, 2004?
Exactly, since Howard. That's, quite significant for stability in that region, potentially. Policy consistency.
Meanwhile, over the UK, the local elections seem to have caused a bit of a stir.
Yeah, quite a shakeup.
Reform UK, they picked up a lot of seats, didn't they? Like 677?
That's the number reported, yes.
Yep.
And it looks like those gains really hit the Conservatives hardest. Though the Liberal Democrats also did pretty well, gained some ground. Labour, they actually lost seats alongside the Tories. So it's a mixed bag, but definitely shows a shift.
A real shift in the local landscape there.
Yeah.
Okay, so shifting gears to international affairs, things seem tense in the East China Sea.
Very tense. Japan and China are, accusing each other of airspace violations. Around those disputed islands, it got pretty serious. A Chinese helicopter apparently entered Japanese territorial waters.
Wow, waters too, not just airspace.
Waters, yeah. And Japan responded by scrambling fighter jets. That's a direct military response. Definitely raises the temperature.
It really does. And slightly different area, but related maybe, the Philippines are also speaking out.
Yes, they're criticizing China's actions near Sandy Cay, saying it violates their sovereignty.
So more friction in the South China Sea as well. These maritime disputes just keep simmering, don't they?
They really do, a constant source of instability.
Okay, turn it to the U.S. Some really major business news. Warren Buffett.
Ah, yes. Huge news. Planning to retire as CEO of Berkshire Hathaway. End of the year.
An absolute legend stepping down. Did he name a successor?
He recommended Greg Abel, which wasn't a total surprise, maybe. Abel's been seen as the likely heir for a while.
Right. So aiming for continuity there, perhaps.
Seems like it. Abel's been with Berkshire a long time, understands the culture. But, every new leader brings their own focus eventually. It'll be interesting to watch.
Definitely. And on the U.S. political side, anything stand out?
Well, Secretary of State Rubio made some strong comments about Germany's AfD party, labeled them extremist.
That highlights that ongoing international debate about nationalist parties.
Exactly, how different governments are reacting. And domestically, of course, the reports mention continued crackdowns and arrests linked to those pro-Palestinian campus protests.
Right, that's still a very active and intense situation on campuses.
Very much so.
Okay, let's talk economy. The stock market had a good day Friday.
A very good day. A sharp jump. Seems like it was driven by strong jobs numbers, better than expected, maybe.
And potentially China reducing some tariffs.
That was part of the positive sentiment, too, yeah. Easing trade tensions is usually good for the market. And get this, the S&P 500 apparently had its longest winning streak since 2004.
Wow, same year as the Australian election factoid? That's quite a run. Suggests some real optimism.
Sustained optimism, certainly. Though, markets can turn quickly. Always worth keeping potential volatility in mind. Strong jobs are a good sign, though.
Definitely. Okay, quickly touching on sports. A boxing match.
Yeah, Martin Bacol and Ife Ajagba.
Yeah.
Heavyweights in Saudi Arabia, went the distance, apparently caused a bit of controversy or discussion.
Okay. And women's football.
Ah, yes, Chelsea women. They clinched their 6th consecutive Women's Super League title.
6 in a row. That's dominance.
Incredible dominance. And they've got one match left against Tottenham with a chance to go the whole season undefeated.
Wow. Incredible achievement if they pull it off. So, reflecting on all this, from just one day, May 4th, it's quite a picture, isn't it? Major election results in Australia, UK shifts, rising tensions between world powers, a business icon retiring, market surges, ongoing protests, sports milestones.
It really paints a picture of a world in constant motion. So much happening simultaneously across different spheres.
It really does.
Which maybe leaves you with something to think about. Consider Albanese securing that second term in Australia. How might that stability or perceived stability shift Australia's role on the global stage, especially with all these other pressures we talked about?
Interesting angle.
Or, think about that U.S. stock market surge. Given the backdrop of geopolitical friction and domestic issues, what underlying economic currents might be driving that optimism, and what could that mean for the near future? Something to mull over.